Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dark Knight 14, and I got my brother John here with me.
What's up?
We're going to be breaking down the Hobbit trailer.
We're going to give you guys a little bit of background on some of the new characters, featuring some of the dwarves, maybe some more background on Frodo and Bilbo, as long as the trolls, and just some other characters that are going to be seen in the movie.
Here we go.
My dear Frodo, you asked me once if I had told you everything there was to know about my adventures. Well, I can honestly say I have told you the truth. I may not have told you all of it.
Bilbo Baggins. I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
I can't just go running off into the blue. I am a Baggins of Bag End.
Bilbo, allow me to introduce Fili, Kili.
Alright, first off, we have Fili and Kili. They are brothers. They are both from the line of Durin. They are son of Dis, and they are also the nephew of Thorin, the great leader on this journey. They are both a member of Thorin and Company, and both of these brothers were slain while defending Thorin's body in the Battle of Five Armies. Fili was 82, and Kili was 77.
Oin.
Oin and Gloin are another set of brothers here. Oin is older than Gloin, and Gloin is the father of Gimli from The Lord of the Rings. Gloin actually went to the Council of Rivendell with Gimli. And, yeah, Oin died by the Watch of the Water in 2994 when he went to Chasm Doom.
Which you might remember from the Mines of Moria.
And Gloin went back to Erebor after the Battle of the Five Armies.
Dwalin, Balin.
Alright, Dwalin and Balin. Both are brothers from the line of Durin. Their father was Fundin. They both accompanied Thran during his journeys. And later, both of them were also members of Thorin and Company. They also both settled in Erebor, but it was Balin in 2989 went to Khazad Dûm with many dwarves of Erebor, and they set up a dwarf colony there.
Now, Balin died in 2994 in a great battle at Azan-ul-Bizar by an orc. He was later buried in Moria, where Gimli went with the Fellowship, and he runs into the tomb of his cousin Balin, which is indeed this dwarf that's in The Hobbit.
And Balin and Bilbo were also quite friendly, and it seems that maybe that Balin was more kindly than some of the other dwarves. Alright, we got Bifur, Bofur, and Bombur. Bifur, a member of Thorin and Company after 2949, he lived in Erebor. Bofur was also a member of Thorin and Company, though he descended from the dwarves at Khazad Dûm. He was not of Durin's line. After 2941, he also resided in Erebor. Bombur, member of Thorin and Company, he descended from the dwarves of Khazad Dûm, though he was not of Durin's line. And after 2941, he also resided in Erebor.
Bombur also he got so fat that he needed 6 dwarves to move him later on in his life. Now, we didn't have much background information on these 3 dwarves, but watch them in the movie, they may surprise you.
Ori.
Alright, now we got Dori, Nori, and Ori. Now, Dori was actually the strongest of all the dwarves in Bilbo's company. Now, these 3 guys were brothers, they all played the flute, they loved to eat, they loved to drink. And Dori and Ori, they were from the House of Durin, and they went and they settled in Erebor after the quest to Smaug's Mountain. And Ori actually did something pretty interesting here.
In 2989 Third Age, Ori left Erebor and went to Khazad Dûm with Balin, where he died in the last defense with the dwarves in the Chamber of Mazrul. Alright, now you might recognize the Chamber of Mazrul as the place in the Fellowship of the Ring where the Fellowship actually goes and they discover Balin's tomb, where Gandalf picks up the record and we find the last account of the dwarves, which they said about the orcs, they are coming. The Fellowship then had to retreat from that room, and in the quest to south of Balrog, we believe that chamber collapsed, and that was the last of them.
And the leader of our company, Thorin Oakensheild.
Alright, last but not least, Thorin Oakensheild, the leader of Thorin and Company, the dwarf king of Durin's folk. Now, in his youth, Thorin fought bravely in the Battle of Azan-ul-Bizar, and after that battle, he went with his father, Thran II, and their folk to the Erd Luin. Now, after the disappearance of Thran in 2845, Thorin became the king of Durin's folk. For 100 years, he slowly increased the numbers and the wealth of his people in Ered Luin, until in, very important year, 2941, Third Age, long troubled by thoughts of the wrongs done his house, he met up with Gandalf and thus decided to reclaim Erebor from Smaug. Now, this expedition of Thorin Company met with success, and although the Horde was recovered and Erebor restored, the expedition had other, maybe more even important, results. A few of them were Bilbo stole the One Ring, Gandalf found his trusty sword Glamdring, which he also killed the great goblin of the Misty Mountains, and the Battle of the Five Armies was fought, and Smaug was killed, removing the greatest evil force in that part of the world, which enabled Dale and Erebor to thrive once more.
Now, an interesting thing about Thorin's last name, Oakensheild, because he was originally called Thorin too, in the Battle of Azan-ul-Bizar, his shield got destroyed, and he actually picked up an oak branch and used it to defend himself and club his enemies, and that gave him the name Thorin Oakenshield. Now, in this next bit of the trailer coming up, Thorin sings the song Over the Misty Mountains Cold, which is a really popular song right now, and it sounds really good, and I can't wait for you guys to listen to it. So here it is.
Over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, the pines were roaring on the height, the winds were moaning in the night, the fire was red.
Now, Galadriel is making a comeback in The Hobbit, and the reason being, we think, is because she is in the White Council, and from different appendixes and backstories that Tolkien has actually written about The Hobbit, that she was actually there. So that's why we think she's coming back.
And look who else is making his appearance. I myself am very happy about this. I was a big fan of Legolas in the Lord of the Rings movies. The reason once we think again that he's coming back is just what we think, that his father is the King of Mirkwood. That's where Legolas is from. Maybe he'll get an appearance there, but we're not sure. But nonetheless, we are very excited to see what is coming from him.
It flaming spread, the trees like torches blazed with light.
This is Sting, Frodo's sword from The Lord of the Rings. Bilbo actually found it in the Troll's Cave, and then he gave it to Frodo later on in the Fellowship of the Ring.
I cannot guarantee his safety.
Understood.
Nor will I be responsible for his fate.
Alright, here we got the actor who plays Radagast. Now, whether or not this guy right here is going to be his character in the movie, we're not sure. There's speculation that it is, but either way, we'll have to wait and see what that is. Alright, we got the trolls here. An evil race from Middle-earth. They were originally bred by Morgoth in the First Age from an unknown stock, perhaps maybe to imitate the Ents. Alright, we think there may be at least 4 different strains of trolls. The stone trolls, which we see here in The Hobbit. Most trolls, except for the Auguile, turn to stone when exposed to sunlight. The stone trolls, which we see in The Hobbit, seem to be most human, which go by the name of Bert, Tom, and William Huggins.
Now, if you guys have seen the extended version of the Fellowship of the Ring, you will have seen this clip right here where Sam points out the stone trolls.
Look, Frodo. It's Mr. Bilbo's trolls.
You'll have a tale or two to tell when you come back.
Can you promise that I will come back?
No. And if you do, you will not be the same.
My name is Bilbo Baggins.
Alright, Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo didn't do much out of the ordinary until it was the year 2941 of the Third Age, when Gandalf came to his door and inquired Bilbo to be the thief on a journey with Thorin and company. which he proved to be a master burglar, very successful in this. He actually took possession of the One Ring here, which after the story of the Hobbit, he went back to Bag End, where he lived most of his life. He was very wealthy, and in that time he also adopted Frodo, his nephew, from after Frodo's parents Drogo and Primula died. And Bilbo then spent most of his life in Bag End.
And Bag End he passed on to Frodo when he went overseas. And then when Frodo went overseas into Grey Haven, Frodo actually passed Bag End on to Samwise Gamgee, who lived there, and all of his heirs did too.
Alright, so Bilbo, he was a very common hobbit except for a few things. He did end up being a bachelor, which was unlike most hobbits. But other than that, he lived a
very long life. He was actually the longest living hobbit to ever lived. He lived to, what, 131 in 8 days?
In 8 days. So
that's how long he lived, so yeah, he lived a long time.
Which a lot of that was due to the influence that the ring had on him. Other than the long life, the ring affected him to a small degree, which Gandalf points out was something that was very peculiar about the hobbits.
What is Baggins' precious?
Alright guys, thanks for watching our in-depth breakdown of this Hobbit trailer. Hope you guys will like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And yeah, thanks for helping me, John. And
not a problem. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, catch you later, guys.